Hello and welcome to the product overview / tutorial of Candle Asset Pack. This is a very small candle asset pack, so you don't really need two videos of each. So I'll be going over each feature and how to use it at the same time, just because there's not too much and it's not gonna be a very long video. My name is Armand Castro. I am the artist behind Evil Planet Studios and Nevermore Graphics. And without further ado, let's dive in. So, first of all, you'll notice that everything is color-coded and each color corresponds to the type of file. So, for example, meshes have these cyan ribbons on the bottom. So that's what I colored the folder with. And it's way easier to navigate through this kind of deal than it is to do that with just all gray folders. So what does this asset pack contain? Well, it contains materials, meshes, textures, Niagara system just for the candle flame. There is blueprints, which we'll be exploring a lot of later on, and there is the maps, which is you're looking at it right now, and it contains obviously everything categorized as well. So there is the world, there is the candelabra, there is the candles, there is unlit candles, and also obviously there is wax strips, which are these things, which are 3D rather than decals, just because you can actually build them up on top of each other, and they just look very nice. There you go. See, there's two variations, and you can give them even more variation if you actually rotate them. But next we have how to use it, right? So first of all, the on and off switch. There is an on and off versions of each candle, and you can just switch them on and off through this enabled switch. Now, you can also mess with the intensity. So you can make it very bright or very turn off, but it's not just how it looks like it's gonna work. So I'll give you an example. Let's just say that you wanted something ridiculous, like 100, super bright. But as soon as you start playing, bam, it goes back to normal. That's because the real way to change the color, the intensity of the candles is going to be here in the min and max, because they are animated. So there is a nice, you know, there is a nice there is a nice flickering component to give them realism. So why do we have two switches? Two light intensities? Well, here is the main reason. First of all, if you want your static lighting, because you can't really render indirect lighting with an animated thing like this, you just can't use the static lighting. So the stationary lighting, you can just, for example, add something crazy like 50 or 100 units in indirect lighting, and then make it very, 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 very faint. So you have these soft shadows with so you don't have very dark shadows. That's my point. So you don't have very dark shadows. In this case, we're getting the indirect lighting from the sky, so that's why it's bluish. I did it for aesthetics, but in your map, maybe you kind of want to I don't know, maybe you would like to create this world in your map where you want to illuminate a whole room. And to keep the frame rate low, maybe you would like to just have it very with a very small attenuation radius, like maybe I don't know, maybe 150, or maybe even smaller, 100 units. So you can see the flickering here and on the wall, right? But at the same time, your whole entire room is illuminated, and that is kind of cheaper. I've been doing that for the project I've been working on. I'm using my own candle asset pack, and it works like a charm, I tell you. It looks fantastic. The room looks well illuminated, and you can still get the best of two worlds because you get this beautiful flickering from the candle. And also the frame rates are pretty low. And mind you, my scenes have like tons and tons of candles in there because it's a dungeon, basically. So, moving on. Now we have this thing where so whatever you want to do with the candlelight, you want to change it here in the min and max intensity. The second reason, I told you there were two reasons. The second reason was because sometimes you kind of want to be able to edit in peace. And if the lighting is like 0.01, like super low, well, you can't see it because there's the other ones going on. But if you have like very, very, very low lighting, you can't see anything. So you have to either go like that, which you can't even see the slope. See, it's almost invisible. So you either do that or just add a supplementary light just so you can at least see anything there because it's so dark. Well, with the candles, because you want them for moody lighting, you can set this one to something really high and stupid, and then while you play in your game, everything is lit up as it's supposed to. Again, that's not the main reason why I did it. The main reason is because I want to have a lot of control over this thing where the flickering and the indirect lighting are calculated separately. But yeah. Also, bear in mind, by the way, you can't have too many stationary lights overlapping, like very close together, but you can actually have a lot of stationary lights that are not overlapping. So they are close by and they are interacting through the static lighting, so the baked lighting, but the dynamic lighting isn't really intersecting, so there is not a problem. It's kind of quote unquote legal. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to the other thing that you can do with this asset pack, and that is to change the color of the candles. And unfortunately, I make your life difficult here as well, because here's the thing. The candles kind of look way different when they are on than when they are off. And here's a really good example. I turned off the lighting because it kind of like blows everything up because there's too much light in here. But let's see it like that. And let's just turn off this candle. See how the texture changes, the material changes, and that is because when a candle is slightly melted, it gets a little bit darker, and just for realism, we change the material to something that reflects that the candle is off, right? candle is off. And every single candle has this handy feature. It looks really cool. Now, what else can you do? So, I was mentioning you have two candles off and normal candles. So you want to change the color for both of them. And again, you have two other things that could be just one thing. Of course, you can go to the material and basically just use the same color here and here. Just do this. But why would you do that when there's way much more realism, when you can control? Okay, so hold on. Which one would look better? I'm guessing that one. This one would look better, right? So let's focus on this one, right? So let's just say you want a black candle. That's the best example I can give you, because black candles aren't all black. Black candles have like the subsurface scattering of a black candle. It's a little bit different. In fact, I messed up and it should be this one. So a black candle should be, right now it looks like that. So this is a real black candle, a completely black candle, but it has, if you put like everything black in here, like there is no subsurface scattering and it just looks fake as hell. But if you introduce just a little bit there and add just a little bit of color in there, and let's just move this a little bit because they are slightly blue. And now you have a little bit more realism. In fact, let's just add a tad more like that. And now you have black candles. It looks really cool. But it's not over, because whenever you disable it, you just need to copy that and put it in here. And now it works. And again, you can add as much or as little subsurface scattering as you want. In my case, I've seen black candles and they don't have too much subsurface scattering, because that black pigment that they put into the wax, it kind of a little bit absorbs the light. But if you want to, you can just make it as bright as you want. And these black candles, you actually want them, you want to give them this purple-ish, red-ish, I mean, depends on the age, not the age, I mean the time frame where the black candles were made, because back then they used a different kind of pigment. Anyway, that's a whole different topic. You should look at reference material and see what looks best for you. You can even make red candles, and again, they shouldn't be all red, because they would look super fake. See, that's not how a red candle looks like. The subsurface scattering should be a little bit more desaturated, sometimes more yellowish. Sometimes some candles have it a little bit purple-ish. Depends very much. Sometimes they have it low, some have it high. Depends on the amount of pigment these candles have. Whatever the case is, yeah, you want to look at reference material to see which candles you want to replicate. But the rule of thumb is the SSS color, the subsurface scattering, should be a little lower than the candle color. So if you have fully white candles, you don't want them to. You can also, by the way, offset you have yellowish light, right, with the candles, or at least I gave it a 3600 3600 is it Celsius? No, it's not Celsius. I forgot. The color temperature is 3600, so it's fairly reddish, fairly orange. So maybe you want to offset that with some blue. So there you go. That's why you have it different. But again, if you're not happy with that, you can just come down here to the master material and change it to whatever makes more sense to you. As well as, and now we're going to go back to the material. So maybe it's such a drag for you to have two materials. Maybe that is a huge hit for your performance, because it's gonna be poor. So what all you have to do is keep set intensity and just disconnect these two and just go straight to set intensity. This you can delete. That's it. Now you're not messing with an extra color, you're just messing with the main one. You're not using my candles off. That depends on how much realism you want. In my case, I really am a huge fan of realism, so I want as much realism as possible. However, in the project I'm currently working, it made no sense because the candles are basically the only way of lighting there, and the few candles that are off are just there for you won't even pay attention to which ones are off or which ones are on. So in my case, that's why I did it. But again, you can do whatever you want. These are all, by the way, these are new features that I added to this version, which is version 1.2. Version 1.0 didn't have anything like that. So it actually had cascade particle system instead of Niagara, which this one has. So all this is new. I decided to make this overview / tutorial because people were asking too many questions, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize it was so hard to understand. So here we are. Anyway, moving on. The way the candle flicker works is through a timeline. So you can do, if you, like, for example, I do not mind because it does not mess with my realism, but they all kind of like vroom, 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 you know, they go in and off, they flicker all at the same time. This may be a kind of a turn off for you. So you have two options, right? You can actually come down here with each individual candle and just change this thing, like go like that, maybe get them out of phase, go like that, so on and so forth. Do that, or you know, go crazy here, create your own curve. That's one option you have. Maybe a little bit time consuming. But the other option you have, let's take this one right here, just for the, let's put it here where it's dark, and let's have two candles, right? So now, where are they? There they are. They both flicker at the same time, right? Well, here's what you can actually do. You can invert this thing. 0.5. Now they flicker at different intervals. Here's one better. 115. Let's go here with 35, just to make it more jarring. So now you have different kind of cadence to this whole thing. Again, it's up to you whether you want to do it or not. It's, yeah. Now, another thing that you may want to do, that you may want to play with here, is perhaps you would like to just automate this whole intensity thing, because maybe you just don't want to have this thing like change min, max, and then this whole thing. Maybe you don't want to have that extra layer of control over that. Well, you can do that. So we come down here and we just make master intensity, right? And then this we divide. So I want it to flicker at 30% on and off, right? So let's divide by 3. And then we're going to add and subtract, right? I'm going to add and subtract the max intensity, and we're going to subtract 30% of that. And then we're going to add 30% of that. So this one, the +1, goes on the top. Oh no, wait, I messed up. So the smaller value goes into the top, the bigger value goes into the bottom. And you get kind of the same what do you call it, result. So we can just go there, and there you go. It's doing kind of the same thing except different. And obviously you can just change the master intensity. Right? So now you don't have to change min and max. But I'll do you one better. Oh, I actually messed up. I forgot which one, how to do that. Well, yeah, no, I can't do you one better, because I thought I knew how to change the intensity of this thing in engine, but yeah, that's as good as it's gonna get. Anyway, yeah, so that's what you can do with the intensities. I'm just gonna leave it at where it was, in case for me this is the superior way to do it. And yeah, if you need the other way, you can do that. Moving on. And so I think those are, I was checking, actually I went on to see if there is anything else that I haven't showed you, but I think these are all the actual features that come with this candle pack. It's very simple, but very, very effective. And as a bonus, they look really, really cool and really realistic. From a distance. Obviously, if you come super, super close, you know, it'll start to pixelate, which real candles don't, as far as I know. But that would be all. Thank you very much for sticking up with me. I'm still getting better at these tutorials. It's not my thing, but I hope it wasn't too annoying for you. Thank you very much for sticking up with me. And if you purchase this thing, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And keep supporting human artists because we need it. Anyway, have a great one, and I'll see you in the next one.